What's going on, Toe Gang? It's your boy MrBeast here, and I put 6,000 feral children and 60 hungry lions on a deserted island. Let's see how they're doing. What have I done? What's going on, fellas and ladies? Welcome back to another video for you today, and I hope everybody who watches it finds some money on the sidewalk. And if you're not watching it, well then, I don't know, jump into a volcano or something. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. Real quick before we get into the video, I do just want to mention that I have started my own Ko-Fi page for donations. Link will be in the description and pinned comment probably if I remember to do it. If you want to give, that's great. If you don't, that's absolutely fine too. There's no pressure. And only do it if you can too. I don't want to like take away your hard-earned money if you like really need it, obviously. So for today's journey, we're just going to be talking about something that's been in the back of my brain for a minute. And if you're on the formerly not as terrible but now awful and right-wing propaganda machine, formerly Twitter and now X, then you've probably seen it. And that, of course, is the MrBeast, Logan Paul, and KSI joint venture known as Lunchy. Lunchly, sorry, with an L. Lunchly. Kind of weird though, right? I feel like Lunchy just sounds better. Like Lunchly, that's kind of, it's just, maybe that's just me. But anyways, Lunchly is this new Lunchables competitor product by MrBeast, KSI, and Logan Paul that features the MrBeast branded Feastables candy and Logan Paul and KSI's Prime sports drink brand. And when I first heard about it, my immediate thought, not really knowing anything, was kind of just like, ew, fucking gross. But also, to be fair, I'm not really a fan of Lunchables anyway. I never really have been, except for the chicken nuggets and Oreos one. That one goes hard. And I know that the popular consensus and the kind of like joke from people who are not children is that Prime is just like a sugar-filled juice just marketed as a sports drink, that it's not really. And I mean, just like personal preference-wise, I don't think that that's not true. Like, I don't want to get sued for defamation or slander here, but from what I've personally experienced, it just seems to be the case. A few years ago, when I used to work at a large retail store that I won't say the name of, but I will say rhymes with ball shark. One day I saw in my section, which was frozen in dairy, that there was a just lone bottle of Prime sitting in front of a milk bottle. And it was cold, obviously, because it had been refrigerated. So I just had like the immediate thought of, well, I think I'm going to try this. You know, I've never actually had this before. Like, I don't like Logan Paul and KSI at all, but maybe that's not so bad. I'm actually going to drink this on my lunch break. I want to see what all the British kids are killing each other over. And then like 20 minutes later, I saw that there was another thing that was just kind of discarded in my section that was a bag of Feastables cookies. And I had the same thought there, that I'm going to just try it and see what all the fuss is about. And so like an hour later, when I went on my break, I bought a deli sandwich from Ball Shark, which I love those, by the way. And then I went and parked under a tree across the street, and I went to eat the Feastables cookie, and I took a bite, and holy fuck, I could not believe how bad it was. At that point, I had seen at least more than once kids crying and throwing fits and ripping their hair out and eating it. Okay, maybe not that, but still crying and having fits. All because their parents wouldn't buy Feastables shit. And after eating just one of those miniature cookies, like, that blew my fucking mind how dumb that seemed now. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge fan of kids. They're just loud and annoying and obnoxious, and they think the entire world belongs to them. So already seeing kids cry over anything just seemed ridiculous, like most things kids do. But this? These hard, messy, barely even taste like chocolate pieces of dog shit? Really? You're gonna pound your fists and fling your poop at the wall over this shit? I just do not get it. And then I ate my sandwich and didn't even touch the rest of the Feastables. You know how rare it is for me to turn down food? Like, genuinely. Son. I mean, look at me. I've got a dad bod if the dad ate nothing but milkshakes and hamburgers for 30 years, and I'm not even 30. But this horrible, just complete fabrication lie of a cookie was awful. No redeeming qualities. Then later in my break, I remembered, oh yeah, I have a whole bottle of red drink that I ain't even tasted yet. And of course, after the Feastables betrayal, I was very hesitant to drink it. What if it was just another overhyped falsehood of a product? And so I drank the Prime, which was the fruit punch or tropical punch. It was the red flavor, and it was, I mean, it wasn't horrible. Like, it wasn't great. It wasn't bad, but it was just kind of middle of the road. It was mid, as the kids are calling it today. There was also just something like, I don't know, kind of missing in the Prime. I guess I was just expecting it to taste like a different flavor of like Gatorade or Powerade, because there's this like kind of a kick or something that you get when you drink Gatorade or Powerade. It just feels like you're getting something that you needed when you drink Gatorade. There's almost this feeling of like tang, regardless of the flavor. But this didn't really have that. It just kind of tastes like any other flavored fruit drink, like a worse version of bug juice or something that you drink as a kid. Oh, remember bug juice? I loved bug juice. I'm gonna get some bug juice.
I forgot.
That isn't necessarily to say that it makes Prime bad. It feels a little deceptive, I think. Now, I don't know the science behind it. Like, I don't know what it was missing. I don't know if it was like the sodium or like electrolytes or something, but it just felt like it was missing something. And that was pretty much it until about like 2 hours later or something, when I was stocking milk, which is something that I did like 2 to 4 times a day, and it puts a lot of strain on your muscles and especially your core from like bending over and turning around a lot. And I had to absolutely rush my ass literally to the bathroom to completely decimate that toilet. And I blew out my sphincter while about painting the can a nice shade of mocha brown. Which, now that I'm saying out loud, mocha brown sounds like a hot black lady from a 70s blaxploitation film. Point is, I don't know which it was. I don't know whether it was the Prime or the Feastables, but one of those items damn near made me shit me britches. And also at the worst time and place, because one, I am 30 minutes from home and I can't leave anyway because I'm at work. And two, I'm like all the way across the store from the bathroom. I was in the cooler on like the south wall, and the family bathroom is all the way on like the east wall, and it's the only one I'm comfortable using because I can have like my space. It's for one person. Or I guess technically it's the family bathroom. It's for people with like children or caretakers, but you know what I mean? Like I can have my space there. I'm alone. I don't have any listeners. I've got peace. So it's safe to say once that literal shit show was over, I stayed away from Prime and Feastables forever. Now we come back to Lunchly. Like I said earlier, Lunchly has both Prime and Feastables in the box, which is why Logan Paul, KSI, and MrBeast are a part of it. And them being involved is actually the big reason why I'm making this video. That's right, it wasn't just for the shit story, that was just for a horrendous anecdote. Now the real reason I'm doing it is because I have some thoughts about these dudes and what they're doing and the controversy surrounding it. Now you may be thinking, controversy? What controversy? And to that I say, give me a minute. God, you're so needy. But also, I love you, please stay. So the first time I even heard about this whole thing was actually from a tweet that I kind of mentioned earlier. But it wasn't even a tweet from like the Lunchly account or an ad or from Logan Paul or KSI or MrBeast. No, it was actually a tweet from DanTDM. And if you don't know who DanTDM is, then I'll just like recap real quick. Basically, he's like a very successful and OG YouTuber that's been doing it for a very long time that makes videos based around Minecraft, which immediately makes you think, oh no, a Minecraft YouTuber. But Dan is actually like a real OG original Minecraft YouTuber that's been doing it for like 12 or so years. To people who enjoyed Minecraft when they were younger, he's like a point of genuine nostalgia that has kept a very active and positive fan base for the length of his career. From what I've heard from people talking about him over the years, I've heard nothing but just praise for this guy. Even though I don't really enjoy Minecraft, which I know, hot take, but I just completely missed the hype train when it came out. I didn't play it until like a couple years ago. DanTDM is just a name that I knew from people talking about how great he is. He's also just someone that stays completely out of any kind of like controversy or envelope pushing in the slightest. And I don't think a lot of people realize how rare that is, not even just on the YouTube platform, but from like the world in general. Like really think about it for a minute. I even went on the cesspool that is r/YouTube drama on Reddit, which is just full of the like angriest people on the earth. And he has nothing on there that's not related to this recent Lunchly issue, and he's not even the bad guy. That is an incredible feat. He's just, as far as I can tell, like a genuinely good dude, and people really respect him for it. And I personally have a lot of respect for him because even though Minecraft can be called a kid's game, his content is not like specifically marketed towards children. He just makes what he wants to make and has a lot of fun with it with no ulterior motives, unlike a lot of Minecraft YouTubers. And for that, he has earned my respect, personally. So like a month ago, on September 16th, Dan put out a tweet that was just a really light criticism of Lunchly. Or more specifically, it was about the people behind it, people like Logan, Jimmy, and KSI. It's not even really controversial. This is what it said. What happened to YouTubers, man? I can't not say anything anymore. This is selling stuff for the sake of making money. Simple. How does this benefit their fans? This is selling crap to kids who don't know better than to trust the people who are selling it to them. Do better. And to be honest, this is a really tame take. Like, I feel like this is pretty reasonable. Like Dan said, they are just marketing sugar-filled crap to kids who don't know any better. It's like the food equivalent of dangling an iPad with flashing colors on it in front of a baby, which is something that people like the Pauls have been consistently criticized for doing in the past. It's literally the basis on which their entire internet career has been centered around. It just is. Like, it's not even a hot take or even a take. Like, it just is what is happening, what they do. But Logan, KSI, and MrBeast all somehow took real issue with Dan calling them out and had their own separate responses for it. Logan, I'll tell you what happened to YouTubers. We spent our lives creating content and building our brand. Now we want to build businesses. You don't say anything when Lunchables faces bans for allegedly containing lead, but when we create a better version you're upset, then don't eat it. It's really fucking ironic that Logan talks about Lunchables having lead in it when not even a year ago, Prime was also found to have had lead in it. It's almost as if when you cheap out on the production of your product and try to just pump it out as fast as you can just to make some money, it's gonna have some harmful elements in it. Crazy, I know. What's really crazy to me is that he can just be so delusional and so like arrogantly boastful about how he's making a better product when it's just not true. But people like him always live with the same mantra, the same ideology. Repeat it to yourself like it's true and eventually you'll forget that it isn't. I also genuinely do not and never will understand how the fuck Logan still has a platform. Only just one of his like 40 different controversies should have been enough. The suicide forest in December 2017 where he filmed a dead body and showed it to literal children. That should have been enough. Only 2 months later in February 2018 where he tasered a dead rat while laughing in a video. That should have been enough. Last year, the fucking CryptoZoo NFT alleged scam bullshit. That should have been enough for not only him to getting deplatformed, but fucking arrested. I know that this is by no means an original take or an original thought, but for fuck's sake, the guy is like a literal menace to children, a menace to society even. And it should be illegal for him to shit talk or brag ever again on the internet, punishable by flogging. Now we get to MrBeast, old Jimmy Donaldson himself. Lunchables sells hundreds of millions of units and countless people eat it. Our goal is to give people a better for you alternative to it. Our turkey meal, for example, is 80 less calories, 60% less sugar, more electrolytes. We use real cheese. They use cheese product. They can't call it cheese. Higher quality meat, etc. Obviously, eating fresh chicken and broccoli is healthier, but if someone is going to eat a pre-made meal like this, which millions of people do through Lunchables, then I think giving them a higher quality version at roughly the same price is a net good in my opinion, and why we launched Lunchly. The first reply under this, it just says, if you release this product, I will kill myself. I don't know why, that's just funny. That's just out of nowhere. Now, I can't say more than what I've already said about the quality of his products. Other than Feastables having just god-awful cookies that damn near made me wreck my drawers, I just have one really big issue with him. Jimmy, in the middle of already having a horrible scandal where he was friends and business partners with an alleged sex criminal, an insane list of human rights violations, abuse, hostile activity, and sexual harassment allegations for his Amazon show that he's refused to even address. A whole lawsuit against him for those aforementioned allegations, not to mention the dog pack video series of a former employee accusing him of all that and more. In the midst of all that insane shit that he's just swirling in right now, is this really the goddamn hill that you want to die on? Really? This is the one thing you want to put your focus on right now? Defending a fucking Lunchables ripoff? How absolutely tone deaf do you have to be that you're in the middle of all of that and you just have to go, hey kids, buy my counterfeit Lunchables. It's not bad. Already fuck you because your cookies suck. And also extra fuck you for trying to pull this bullshit stunt. There's also another issue that I've had with MrBeast for a while that is very arbitrary compared to the other things that I just mentioned. But I've also just never had a chance to talk about it until now, so I'm gonna. You can't stop me. When he was on the TMG podcast like 2 years ago or something, he talked about his process for when he gives the prizes to his contestants for the challenges that he does. So he was talking about how people on Twitter go like, wow, you're a dick because you fuck people over with these taxes on these expensive prizes. And he defended that by saying,
MrBeast fucks people over. He gives them prizes and taxes. Just sell it. Sell it.
And then saying,
I'll give it to them, and if they're like, the taxes, I'll just be like, okay, here, I'll just give you what I think I could sell for.
So what this idiot does is he already buys the plane or the car or the island, whatever the fuck. And then the person wins the prize, and if they don't want it, which they probably don't because of the insane taxes, he, one, either just tells them to sell it, or two, just gives them the money of what he thinks he can sell it for. Jimmy, just give them the fucking original money and don't buy the goddamn thing. But you might say, well, he needs it for the video. Then rent it. Rent the fucking plane. If you need it for the video, just rent it. And then if they choose the plane, just buy it afterwards. This line of thinking, this process that he apparently goes through every time he makes one of these videos has just driven me fucking crazy ever since I heard about it. I wanted to talk about this since the first time I saw that podcast back in like 2022 or something, but I've never had a chance. For fuck's sake, it's just so stupid I couldn't believe it. So now I finally get to get it off my chest. And KSI actually had a few different responses. Well, not a few, actually quite a bit. The first one is just a picture of like a U2's, a Tube Heroes Minecraft action figure of DanTDM, and a pickaxe toy, I guess. It just says, looks like crap to me. And there's another one that's just him repeating exactly what Dan said on a tweet about Marquez Brownlee doing a 50-year subscription for a wallpaper app, which I'm not even gonna look into that. That's not the point of the video. Then there's another tweet that says that here's a link to an apology video, but it's just the link to his fucking awful new song. It is horrible, by the way. Another tweet that says, DanTDM, where you at? That's about a Kai Cenat McDonald's team up. And then finally a tweet that says, Ayo, DanTDM, why don't you come over to the sidecast? Let's talk this out like men. I've always thought his content was just really cringy, and that's coming from me, holy shit. Maybe it's just not really for me. It seems to be like Logan for, well, children. From what I've seen from clips on like YouTube shorts and stuff of the sidemen, they seem to have, I'll say, like a pretty immature, like frat dude bro humor, which again, is just not for me. The big issue issue that I have with his response is that it's really just like a false equivalence. Toys, like the example that he pulled for DanTDM, is not food, buddy. And I know you may not know the difference because you have the brain of a 6-year-old, but what you're selling is something that children are literally putting in their body for food, for nutrients, or at least it's supposed to be. And yeah, I saw that you also brought up the snack pack sponsorship that Dan got like 9 years ago, which again is a false equivalence because it's a sponsorship. You own Lunchly, you have stake in the company, you control what is in it. And again, you are marketing it for kids. You are selling it to children, whether you want to admit it or not. That just is the case. A big problem that I've also always had with him is that he just cannot seem to take any kind of criticism. My music is good! It seems like he genuinely cannot fathom that he can do anything that's negatively received. The very concept that he can do literally anything wrong does not exist for him. It's insane. It's like borderline pathological. His responses have also just been like really dumb and cringy, and it's just like, I don't know, man, just get your shit together. All in all 3 of these YouTubers, these titans of industry, just I don't really like them very much, and this whole Lunchly controversy just really rubbed me raw. Right down to the bone, right down to the marrow. I'm bleeding out. Please help. So I figured I'd just make a video on it and get my thoughts out there for all to see. Turn my contempt into content. My vitriol into video. My disdain into this thing. That's probably going to be it for today, fellas and ladies. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe because it really helps me out. And also the Ko-Fi donation link in the description or the pinned comment if I remember. Again, only give if you want to. You absolutely don't have to. And as always, I hope I made you laugh. I hope I made you smile. And I will see you when I do this again. Bye.